Hi everybody, it's great to be back here again on Itzamar. It is Friday, the 26th day of the month of Tishrei. It happens to be my birthday, that's why I'm saying it, Parshat Bereshit. I have Bar Mitzvah Shabbat in Bat Ayin. My nephew was born on the same exact day as I was. I was his sandag, his godfather at his circumcision many years ago. And yet 13 years later, we are celebrating his Bar Mitzvah, wonderful. And it's always special on a birthday. So anyway, let's do a little birthday Torah. I want to do it in his honor, his birthday honor, his Bar Mitzvah honor. We'll make a little quick Torah because I got to get out of here. It's getting late. And it's always beautiful to be back and to start our cycle of Torahs again. So I hope that we have a very, very fruitful year. And it should be a lot of Torah study in abundance. And you'll see I'm using the word fruitful because we're going to talk a little bit about fruit today. But again, I want to try to do it in a very, very concise and get the point across. Let's begin. This week's Torah portion in verse number 11, the third day of creation. God tells plant life to come out and sprout forth. And if you compare verse 11 to verse 12 in the English, I don't think you're going to see a big difference. But in the Hebrew, you'll see that in verse 11 it says eitz pri, a fruit tree, using the word eitz pri in Hebrew. Eitz meaning a tree, pri meaning a fruit. In verse number 12 it says eitz oseh pri, a tree that makes fruit. What is the difference? Okay, well, the Midrash, right away Rashi brings down a Midrash and saying here, for some crazy reason, the Adamah, the land, the earth, did not do what it was supposed to do. Instead of making a fruit tree, that the tree itself tastes like the fruit, because eitz pri would be the tree, eitz is bark, the wood. The wood itself would be a fruit. But instead of making the wood a fruit, the wood made fruit. But it wasn't itself a fruit. And that's what Rashi says. And he says this was basically when man sinned, the earth was sinned with him. It was sort of like, it seems like something a little strange here, saying the earth did not do what God said, and that it was punished because it was man. These things don't make sense to us. I mean, God even says that the world was all good. God saw that it was good. So if it was good, why was there a mistake over here? And how, if God said to be done a certain way, why was it done a different way? So obviously, this is a difficult question to understand in a simple understanding, and for sure we can't. And I'll prove it to you right now. One of the famous commentaries, it's called the Toldot Yitzchak, or maybe less famous. He was the uncle of Yosef Karo, the author of the Shulchan Aruch, who raised him, a great rabbi. And he right away brings down this midrash and said, it doesn't make sense. They don't have feelings. They don't think. How can they go against God? They don't have an evil urge. So he says it's something, you can't answer to a midrash, right? There's no answer to a midrash. And he said his last 4 words, it must have some very, very special, deep meaning behind it. That surah, he calls it, that we may not understand, but there's a deep message behind this midrash that he left it at that. He didn't really explain it. And I thought of coming along, who am I? But since it's my birthday, I'll try to explain it. What could it possibly mean that the land sinned and didn't do what it was supposed to do with the fruit? Come on, give me a break. In reality, I think there's a very great message behind it. And I came across this week, since I love biology, once in a while I look into certain biological, little slight research. And I came across this crazy thing. They were talking about God being the designer of a world, but it's not so perfect. How could it be that from the cranial nerves in the brain, there are 13, as a matter of fact, 13 pairs. Double that's 26. And they come out and they branch out, giving obviously a sensation to the entire body, different organs. Anyway, there's one nerve that goes around, it's from the cranial nerves, it's called the vagus nerve, which branches off to the nerves of the larynx. But instead of going directly to the larynx, the voice box, it goes around about, and then it comes back. So the whole point that we're trying to make is this is crazy. It must be some kind of evolutionary process that it made a detour instead of going directly. If it was intelligent design, it would have gone directly from the brain right to the closest pathway to the larynx. The way it does in fish. They have gills, right? They don't have a larynx. They don't speak. Talking fish. Okay. But anyway, so I was... Oh, wow, look at that wind. Whoa! We had our first rain yesterday, as a matter of fact. So anyway, it's great being out here in nature with the winds talking to you. Let that wind pass. But anyway, what the point I was trying to make with this particular video that I came across was they're looking for an intelligent design, and they found something that didn't make sense. Seems a little intelligent. It didn't do what the cranial nerve didn't do what it was supposed to do. It should have gone directly and it went around. Maybe there could have been a midrash about that. But that's the point I'm trying to make, is that we know that obviously God created the world, His infinite wisdom, the way He wanted to do. The way God wanted to, of course. We cannot possibly fathom God's greatness and talk about intelligent designer. Are we out of our mind? Is there anyone greater than God? Can we talk about intelligence? Just saying the word intelligent designer is problematic, because His wisdom is so beyond our human weakness in every way. But the point that I want to try to make here, I think the Midrash is teaching us a very, very big lesson. Way back when it was written thousands of a couple of thousand years ago, it's passed down this Midrash. It doesn't make too much sense. But today, in a world that we have such a scientific world, and we see how they're trying to show how the world evolved and by chance, and there are so many imperfections in the world, which are being proven wrong, of course. But in reality, it is really up to man. Man can look at something in two ways. You can look at something and see the beauty in it, and see the tremendous wisdom behind it. Or you can look at it the bad way and bring it down and look at it in a different direction completely. That's exactly it. When these scientists come along and try to say that this nerve took a wrong pathway, I'm sure if someone can come along and explain that. But even if they can't explain that, say it was like a roundabout. In reality, God created a world of imperfection. That's the beauty of creation. That the world has to be uplifted. And we as man could take this world and make amazing discoveries and amazing inventions. And uplift this world. It's all dependent upon us. That's why when man, who was like the tree of the field, right? Instead of giving forth the fruit of holiness, he ate from the forbidden fruit. And he brought down the world together with him. And therefore, the tree, instead of having a taste, like the fruit itself, was taken down a level. But that man affects, his physical world is affected by man in it. How much we are causing climate changes in the world. Nature God created, and he left it to man to find himself within this nature. But of course we can find imperfections within nature, because this is the way God wanted it to be. That's the beauty, and that's the perfection of creation, that there's imperfection within the world. Because only God is whole and perfect. And the world He has here, He allows it to be uplifted and to be perfected. And that's the way He wanted it. So the Midrash is trying to say, yes, look at this tree. It didn't do what God said. It could have been a more intelligent design if the taste of the fruit was like the tree itself. But no. It's exactly what God wanted to happen. Because He wanted it to be man who could turn that tree into fruit. And that is by when we look at something with a positive light, we use our beautiful gift as man, who can choose between good and evil. We could turn everything and get everything a taste of goodness and a taste of fruit. And that really is, I think, the deep message, or one deep message behind this Midrash. Shabbat Shalom. B'Sarot Tovot. We'll be back next week. Bye bye, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.